Well, I left my children in Pretoria. Things changed so fast that the planning was all higgledy-piggledy. But yes, they are settled in their new home, and I'm back home. How did it work? How did it go? I can see now why some people with ankylosing spondylitis have ended up in hospital after flights, mostly long flights, like longer than the 2 hours, 2.5 hours I was in. It is horrific. It is horrendous. If you have active ankylosing spondylitis, do not travel. Do not go and then come back the same day or the same within 24 hours. It was horrible, people. It was bad. I couldn't sit after the first hour in the plane. My rib cage, my ribs, my sternum, everything was so sore. My bones, my elbows have been bad again. It's as if I'm in winter. My elbows, my shoulders, my rib cage, my back, my lower back, my SI joints, my thigh bones, my knees, my feet, all the way down my legs. It was the most horrific pain I've had in a long time. And I couldn't imagine myself having to then get off the aeroplane in Johannesburg and then still do the 40-minute drive to Pretoria. That night was bad. I couldn't sleep. The pain was still there. No matter what I did, the pain was still there. And then I woke up the next morning and I had to take the children shopping because my husband works for retailers, right? A certain shop retailer, and I have a staff card because I'm his wife. But they don't have staff kids cards, so I must buy. So I had to be there with them because you sign and all, and you have to give in your ID number, your ID, when you are paying with your staff card. And it was bad. The dreams I had of happily walking through the shopping center, the mall with my children, it didn't happen. I was in excruciating pain. They were walking too fast for me. And this is my girl, Eliora, has never walked too fast until now. In fact, she's kind of dragged all along. But this time I was the one who was stuck behind them. I just couldn't keep up. And my son had even slowed down. AS is a beast. It is a horrible monster. I'm dedicating this video to Sister Vala because she asked how things are going, and it really matters to me, or how the weekend went. She's excited for the children and teenagers, but she's also aware that AS is a disaster. So yeah, this is how it was. It was horrible. Pretoria, now I've realized why Pretoria. Remember I told you it was brown? It's the clay soil. It's like clay. We have sand here, like beach sand. That's really what we've got. But in Pretoria, it is that earthy red soil. And it colors the roads. The roads are not even like our colored, our black tar. It's everywhere. Now I see why. I don't know. Yeah, all I knew, Pretoria is brown. But it's only when I saw and took a picture of the side of the road, that red, I realized it's that red that covers things. So yeah, our flight was okay. I got into the aeroplane and I thought of those Washington, D.C. passengers who were so close to landing and then disaster struck. And from the news report, I saw one of the news reports, the pilots of the plane at the last minute did see the helicopter coming for them based on how they apparently tried to go up to avoid it. So to know from what that report said that the pilots knew we are in trouble, and then for it to just crash, I just wondered how pilots in general are feeling after that kind of stuff happened. And the other accident that happened after that, where 105 people died, 64, I can't remember how many, but again, was it Korea? I can't remember where, I'm sorry. But yes, those things must be in their minds when they're flying. Just one mistake and everyone is dead. So we went off. My daughter was so excited. She loves flying and she hasn't been in a plane in years. So she was happy. We got there, Johannesburg, took an Uber, drove all the way in the night. It was dark and we slept. Next morning, we woke up and we went shopping. There's a lot that happened in between, but it's not important. Like the car not starting, needing to get an insurance guy from our insurance company to come and fix the battery or restart the battery, jumpstart the battery. And the mall that we went to is huge. It is big. I loved the splash park that they have for little children to play in. As I said, that place is hot. But yeah, it gets hot too. I wish we had that for little children. It would be so cool to just watch your children happy playing in the water. It's those the splash parks where the water comes from under the ground and goes up, and the children just play around in it. It is lovely. And again, the number of people who are like me who were there, it's different. It's like home, hearing Sesotho. The cashiers would speak in Sesotho. White people were mostly speaking Afrikaans, blacks were mostly speaking Sesotho. Some spoke isiZulu. So I left them. We were going to go to the actual campus, but because of the battery, we were delayed, waiting for the guy to come, and then you had to really juice it up. So we went to the campus, but it was closed. So I took pictures of the outside. I would have loved to just step in and see what it's like. Maybe one day I'll go visit if we find the right biologic for me that will work for me. I left my children. My teenager, my girl, said she'll be, they already both, my son had already said he'll miss his siblings. But it was yesterday when my girl said, I'm going to miss Amarissa, Mikaya, and the twins. That's what I'm feeling. More than sorrow that they're gone, it's the sorrow that I know each child is feeling. That is what is hurting this mother's heart. It's that, the missing of each other. I mean, we were a homeschool family. We were always together. I was not okay, they're going off to school. Okay, they're going off for a school camp. They're going for this camp. We were always together, except for, of course, funerals or things like that. But we were always together. And this is a big step and a big change. In my non-speaker, Rio was just, you can tell she's not happy. She's dysregulated. I pray that she'll get used to it. I explained to her that BK is gone because she actually, for the first time in a long time, when she was looking at her food, she said her brother's nickname, BK. And I felt so bad for her because he's not here. So I told her he's gone. She repeated, gone. Yeah, nothing else I can do. She doesn't really understand much. So I can't tell her, he's gone off to study. He'll be back in however many months when it's holiday time. She won't understand that. She just knows he's not here and he's her favorite person. And he's not here. The ones who can talk are missing their siblings. They say they missed me as well, and the weekend was just not the same without me. My daughter Amarissa, she said Saturday night she was scared. She felt like a thief will break in because I wasn't here. But she slept better last night because she knew I was coming back. Which is funny because I am no match for any burglar. But she just felt safer when knowing that mommy is going to be back. So I loved that for her, and I'm glad she can express herself. I mentioned expressing herself because we're beginning again with the psychoeducational assessments. New batch, she's 10 years old. We're going to check out the dyscalculia. That's how her psychologist calls it. Yeah, so we did talk a lot, she and I had a meeting with her first this morning about her emotional state and the academics that I'm seeing, and things like how she feels bad that she's in a lower grade than she should be, which only comes out because other children ask her, and then when she says she's doing grade 1, they're like, why are you only there? So those kinds of things, they do hurt her. So yes, that's the thing. I'm back on in full mommy mode still. Nothing changes in that aspect, but it's worse because now I have to remember everyone's medication. I don't have the teenagers to help me with the administering this and administering that, and the Alicet for twins, and the Risperdal for this one, and the Strattera for that one, and the Infexa. I was doing mostly the middle two's meds, but now I'm doing all four. So my brain was just not working because my body is dead. My body is dead. I had driven the car to the airport and I was going to drive myself home, but I couldn't. I texted my husband and said, please come get an Uber and come and drive me home because I will not be in a fit state to drive. My bones are just, they're bad. And I've driven before. When you're in pain, extreme pain, you can't really drive out. Yeah. So our young man came. I asked him if he could come and sleep over because my flight, there we go to the last part, the flight was going to be late at night. So if he came to Uber, the guy would have to go back home late, and he lives in a very unsafe area. So we wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want him to be endangered. I mean, my husband would drop him off, but then they'd both then be in danger. So I asked him if he could come sleep over, and he said yes, definitely. I asked him yesterday morning because that's when I realized I won't survive this day. So he came, and the children were so happy when the doorbell rang because the dad had told them he's coming. They were so excited. Uncle Kim, Uncle Kim. So they were happy, which made me happy. And everyone was safe. When we got back home, the plane. So I arrived, and on my app it was saying the plane, people are boarding. I was late for boarding. And I went on, I stood in the queue. It was I was late. I'm usually one of the first people in the queue, but I was like right at the back. I took my tablets and we waited and waited and waited. 20 minutes standing there. Do you know what 20 minutes of standing is like when your bones, your skeletal system is in agony? It was horrible. It was thundering, lightning, storming. We eventually got onto the plane. The pilot apologized. He said because of the storm, planes were being diverted and everything. Everyone's schedule was now off because of the storm. And then he said, but now we're going to take off. But we didn't take off. We waited and waited. And now, because we'd had to have our seatbelts on, we weren't allowed to stand because we could take off any moment. Ankylosing spondylitis and whatever else you have, people out there, that hurts you, just hurts just sitting because, yeah. So when we eventually left about 30 minutes later, or 35 minutes, we were 40 minutes late. The pilot explained that, okay, we are going to leave within the next 5 to 10 minutes. The reason we've just been standing here is because of the storm still, because of this lightning and thunder and all. We are only using one runway there to move everything to that one runway. So now all the planes are using that one runway. So air traffic control is having to divert and make plans. And when I heard the phrase air traffic control, I again thought of those Washington people with the whole one person from air traffic control left before the shift was over. And why didn't air traffic control see that the helicopter was going to hit? All of those things. And why wasn't air traffic control more specific? I just thought of that accident and I thought, take your time. I don't care how much pain I'm in when I get home. I just want to get home. So we will wait until the sky is clear. I don't mind. Eventually we left. There was turbulence. Do you know how tiny an aeroplane is when you compare it to the vastness of the sky? I thought, only God holds up all these machines. Seriously, it was bumpy. We had to stay holding in our seats with the seatbelts on. So much for getting up to try and get the pain off my lower back. We had to stay seated. And there were times when it got so scary that the man next to me was holding onto the chair to stay stable. But we're safe. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that there are people who care and worry and ask. This is a big thing. It's a big change. A very big change after decades, almost 20 years. So I'm thankful. So that's how it is. Those were the little pictures of the mall It was Menlyn Mall that we went to. Um, Children are happy, I think. I guess. Yes, they are. And, well, my teenagers specifically, though my son thought I would cry. I only cried once. I cried when we left Cape Town Airport and were in the air. And I just thought, you all said I was going to destroy my children's future. You all said I was messing them up. You all said they will not be able to go to any kind of tertiary education. You said I was bad. You said I was a bad parent. All of those people, all those relatives of ours. But look at me. I'm on a plane taking those very same children who you thought I would destroy. I'm taking them to the future, and I just cried. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. There was a knock at the door. Things are different. It's just little things like who takes the ironing to the iron place. The doorbell just rang. Someone was delivering something. And I thought of my son last week. He told one guy who was delivering that he's leaving. And the man said, so now who's going to come and collect the parcels? It's those little things where he built up relationships with people. I saw him always offering him water or giving him a glass of water. I'm proud of my children. I'm proud of the hearts they have, especially my son. He's more open and vocal, so I know more about what's in his heart. I just wish them the best. I just really do. More than anything, not worldly. I don't care. Well, I do want them to pass. I do want them to do well at school. But I just want them to grow in Christ, in love, in respect, in integrity, fidelity. And that's my hope. My part is done, really. And yes, we have been texting a lot in the family WhatsApp group. But yeah, my part, education-wise, is done. Their books have been ordered. They will go collect them. And so I cried. It is finished. It is finished. In case I don't get time to make a roundup video for this week, here is my ADHD life. My dear daughters, one of them cut my 5-year-old's locks. Her hair is extremely uneven. There are many locks that are shorter. I noticed it, and we told them, don't cut your hair. Don't cut your hair, Nene. A few weeks later, they again cut the short ones even shorter. So they're now even more uneven. Today, this weekend on Sabbath, I noticed Amarissa's hair is cut. And ask her, why in the world did you cut your hair? And the reason is, well, we were thinking we couldn't remember who exactly cut Nene's hair. So we decided, let's just cut mine so that I also have uneven hair like she does. You just don't know what to say, do you? Well, I don't know what to say, except for don't touch the scissors. Don't take the scissors which they had stolen when I wasn't looking. You can't win. Where there's a will, there's a way, especially for them.